Have you ever had a conversation with someone, a partner, a friend, a family member, where on the surface everything seemed perfectly fine? They were smiling. They were using polite words. They might have even been complimenting you. And yet, when you walked away, you felt a heaviness in your chest. You felt drained, or small, or anxious. You tried to replay the conversation in your mind, to find the insult. But you could not find one specific sentence that was wrong. So, you blamed yourself. You told yourself you were being too sensitive, or that you were imagining things. I want you to know right now, you are not imagining things. That feeling of unease is your intuition picking up on a frequency that your logical brain has not yet decoded. It is the creepy vibe that alerts us to danger even when the danger is dressed up in a nice suit. Emotional manipulators are not always the villains we see in movies. They do not always yell or threaten. In fact, the most dangerous ones are often the calmest people in the room. They use language not to connect, but to control. They use words to weave a web so fine that you do not even realize you are caught in it until you try to move. Let us explore the first major red flag, which I like to call the compliment with a shadow. We all love to be praised. It is human nature to want to be seen and appreciated. Manipulators know this, and they use it as a hook. But listen closely to the structure of their compliments. Are they pure, or is there a little sting in the tail? A genuine compliment feels like a gift. It is simple. You look beautiful today. A manipulative compliment is transactional or comparative. You look beautiful today. I am so glad you finally decided to make an effort. Do you feel the difference? The first part lifts you up. The second part knocks you down. It implies that usually you do not make an effort. It implies that your beauty is conditional on their approval of your actions. Another version of this is the qualifier. You are so smart for someone who did not go to college. You are actually really funny. I do not care what anyone else says. These are not compliments. These are insults wrapped in gift paper. They are designed to make you feel grateful for their approval, while simultaneously making you feel insecure about your standing in the world. It keeps you seeking their validation, because they have positioned themselves as the benevolent judge of your worth. They are the only ones generous enough to see your value despite your flaws. It creates a dependency. You start to feel that without them, the rest of the world would see you as uneducated or unfunny. It is a subtle erosion of your self-esteem. Done with a smile. Now, let us move deeper into the murky waters of conditional affection. In a healthy relationship, love and care are a steady baseline. Of course, we get annoyed with each other, but the underlying safety remains. With a manipulator, affection is a currency. It is something they grant you when you are behaving in a way that serves them. And it is something they withdraw the moment you assert a boundary. Pay attention to the word if. If you really loved me, you would do this. I would not be so angry if you were not so clumsy. This language shifts the responsibility entirely onto you. It suggests that their emotions are not their own responsibility to manage, but rather a direct result of your performance. If they are cold, it is your fault. If they are silent, it is your fault. You become a puppet master of their moods, or so they want you to believe. This leads to a state of hypervigilance. You start overanalyzing your own words and actions. Did I say that right? Is he going to be mad if I wear this? Is she going to give me the silent treatment if I go out with my friends? You stop living your life and start living to avoid their displeasure. And the most insidious part, they never explicitly told you to stop seeing your friends. They just became icy and distant the last 3 times you did. They trained you, like a lab rat, to avoid the lever that causes the shock. The language they use to reinforce this is often framed as disappointment. I just thought you cared more about our time together. Spoken with a sad sigh is a powerful weapon. It makes you feel like a villain for simply having needs. Then we have the masterclass of manipulation. The gaslight maneuver. We have heard this term a lot, but I want to look at the specific phrasing used. Gaslighting is not just lying. It is an assault on your reality. It often hides behind phrases like, "You are crazy," but more often it is subtler. "I never said that. You are remembering it wrong. You are blowing this way out of proportion. I was just joking. Can't you take a joke? Let us break down. I was just joking." This is the universal escape hatch for a verbal abuser. They say something cruel, something that hits a nerve. When you react with pain or anger, they suddenly flip the script. By claiming it was a joke, they transform your legitimate pain into a character flaw. You are not hurt because they were mean. You are hurt because you have no sense of humor. You are too sensitive. This phrase, too sensitive, is a favorite weapon. It is used to invalidate your emotional boundaries. If you tell someone they hurt your feelings, and their response is to critique your reaction rather than address their action, that is a red flag, the size of a billboard. A healthy person says, "I am so sorry. I did not mean to hurt you." A manipulator says, "You are making a big deal out of nothing." They make you doubt your own heart. Eventually, you stop speaking up because you do not want to be the sensitive one. The drama queen, the nag. You swallow your pain to keep the peace. But it is a false peace. It is silence bought at the cost of your soul. Another linguistic trick is the word salad. Have you ever tried to resolve a conflict with someone? And 10 minutes in, you have no idea what you are even arguing about anymore. You started by asking why they were late. And suddenly, you are discussing your tone of voice 3 weeks ago, their difficult childhood, the state of the economy, and why you never support their dreams. They talk in circles. They use big intellectual words to confuse you. They deflect. They project. They bring up ancient history. This is not poor communication. It is a strategy. It is designed to exhaust you. They overwhelm your processing power with nonsense until you just want it to stop. You end up apologizing just to end the conversation. You say, "Okay, you are right, I am sorry," just to get a moment of peace. And that is exactly what they wanted. They did not want to resolve the issue. They wanted to win. They wanted to avoid accountability. If you leave a conversation feeling mentally foggy, confused, and drained, you have likely just been served a word salad. We must also look at the passive voice and the shifting of agency. Listen to how they describe their mistakes versus how they describe yours. When you make a mistake, it is active. You broke the vase. You forgot the milk. When they make a mistake, it is passive or vague. The vase broke. The milk did not get bought. Mistakes were made. Do you see the distance they create? They detach themselves from their actions. It is as if the bad things just happened to them or around them, but were not caused by them. This linguistic distancing allows them to play the victim even when they are the aggressor. "I am sorry you feel that way" is another classic. It sounds like an apology, but it is not. A real apology is, "I am sorry I did this." The non-apology shifts the problem to your feelings, not their behavior. They are essentially saying, "I am sorry you are reacting this way to my perfectly reasonable behavior." It resolves nothing and leaves you feeling unheard. There is also the use of we and they. A manipulator often presumes to speak for you. "We do not really like that kind of movie. We are not going to that party." They erode your individuality by absorbing you into a collective we that they control. They might also use a vague they to back up their opinions. "Everyone thinks you are acting strange lately. People are talking about how tired you look." Who are they? Who is everyone? Usually these people do not exist. This is called triangulation. They invent an army of invisible supporters to make you feel outnumbered. It plays on our primal fear of being an outsider. If everyone thinks I am wrong, I must be wrong. It isolates you. It makes you feel like the manipulator is the only one telling you the truth, the only one looking out for you, when in reality, They are the one manufacturing the judgment. So, how do we protect ourselves? How do we navigate this maze of hidden meanings and subtle traps? The first step is to reconnect with your body. Your body is a lie detector. It reacts to threats faster than your mind can process language. If you are talking to someone and your stomach clenches, your throat feels tight, or you feel a sudden wave of exhaustion, pause. Listen to that. Do not brush it aside. Your body is telling you that the energy does not match the words. The words say, I love you, but the energy says, I own you. Trust the energy. The second step is to slow down. Manipulators love urgency. They want you to react emotionally, right now. They want to keep you off balance. Counter this by slowing everything down. If they ask a loaded question, take a long pause. If they throw a word salad at you, say, I need time to process this. Let us talk about it tomorrow. Silence is a powerful tool. Manipulators hate silence because they cannot control it. When you stay silent, you force them to show more of their hand. You step out of the dance. You refuse to play your part in the script they have written. The third step is to ask clarifying questions. When they use a backhanded compliment, ask, what do you mean by that? When they say, everyone thinks so, ask, who specifically? When they say, I was just joking, say, can you explain the joke to me? I do not understand why it is funny. By asking calm, direct questions, you shine a light on the manipulation. You force them to explain the unexplainable. Usually, they will crumble or get angry. And that anger is your answer. That anger reveals the face behind the mask. I know this is heavy. I know that realizing you have been subjected to these tactics can be incredibly painful. It can make you question your entire history with someone. But please, have compassion for yourself. These people are experts at what they do. You were not foolish for believing them. You were hopeful. You were kind. You were projecting your own goodness onto them. But now you know. Now you have the vocabulary to name what is happening. You can name the gaslighting. You can name the conditional love. You can name the word salad. And once you can name it, you can stop absorbing it. You can imagine a shield around you. When they throw these poisonous words, visualize them hitting the shield and falling to the floor. They do not have to enter your heart. They do not have to become your truth. You deserve communication that is clear. You deserve love that is safe. You deserve to be spoken to with respect, not just when you are being good, but always. You deserve to have your reality validated. You are worthy of a love that does not require you to decode secret messages or walk on eggshells. As you move forward, start paying attention to the people in your life who make you feel calm. The people whose words match their actions. The people who apologize clearly and change their behavior. The people who celebrate your wins without a caveat. These are your safe harbors. Cherish them, and for the relationships that leave you feeling drained and confused. It is okay to step back. It is okay to stop engaging. It is okay to protect your peace with a fierceness that surprises everyone. You are the guardian of your own emotional garden. Do not let anyone plant weeds there disguised as flowers. Thank you so much for listening, my friends. I hope this helps you navigate your world with a little more clarity and a lot more confidence. You are strong, you are wise, and you are so very loved. Until next time, keep your aura bright and your boundaries strong.